So George, here we are again at our property at 407 Sewell Avenue in Asbury Park. We were here a few months ago. Everything was gutted. It was framed out. Just the framing was done. That was a huge project in and of itself, just doing the demo and the framing. But I wanted to bring you back to show you where we are now. So now we've got 50% of the units sheetrocked, painted. We've got tile in the bathrooms. Some of the units that we'll see today already have the flooring in. And we're in the final stretches of getting the interior of each of these units up and ready for occupancy. So let's check it out. In our last Field Notes video, we were in this very space. It was completely open. It was framed out. You saw the framing structures, and you saw the exposed brick wall of the original exterior brick poking through the framing. Now everything's been insulated and sheetrocked. It's an amazing space. It's a big, wide open apartment. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. There's laundry in unit. There's a lot of space here. This is a great product for the market because usually in our market, apartments are either brand new construction and very expensive, maybe $4,000 and up for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, or they're vintage grade product that haven't yet been renovated, and they're gonna be perhaps $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 per month for a 2-bedroom. So this is gonna be about $3,000 a month. Parking, laundry in unit, great light and air. There's a little balcony here, so you have some outdoor space. You're located right in the downtown. You're walkable to the beach. You're walkable to shops and restaurants and other amenities. This is a great spot, and it's a great bang for the buck if you don't want old, crappy product and you don't want to spend $4 or $5 grand on brand new product. This is as good as it gets. It's a great mid-price point offering. We're really psyched for it. Let's go check out some more units. I remember being in this very apartment with you several months ago when the sheetrock and insulation wasn't yet up. We were talking about the plaster and lathe that was all exposed that you could see in the open walls that was poking through the flooring and through the old wall structures. All that stuff's been removed. This part of the building's been insulated and sheetrocked. This apartment's been painted. You can see the new electrical services in. We can see the new bathroom is in. It's tiled. The shower pan is set. We can see that this is where the kitchen layout is going to happen. This is our wet wall here because we see the water supply and the drain line. We see all the electricity outlets to code lining up against the wall where the countertops are going to be. George, in this apartment, we increased the size of the window openings in a lot of the windows to create more light and air. And so this is a great feature. This window used to be less wide and less tall, but we opened it up and it just brings in some air. It gives access to light and air where it wasn't existing before. This is a big space. This is another 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. Again, central HVAC, laundry in unit, parking, some outdoor space. Everything's brand new, but you're in a classic old building that's got charm. It's a masonry building. So there's detail on the outside that you could just never replace today. So this building is very charming visually. And rather than knock it down and build ground up, we chose to keep the structure, reinforce it, improve the masonry, put a new roof on, run all brand new systems, plumbing, electric, everything's new. And we have a great new product that sits right in the middle of the marketplace for price point and qualities. I said that the units had in-unit laundry. Here's what I mean. This is the laundry closet. Here's the hookups for the laundry machines. Here's the vent for the dryer. Here's all the water supply lines and electrical supply lines, and there's a gas line right there. Here's also your low voltage wiring facility right here, and you've got a hot water heater that's going to go in here. So everything's been framed out to hold all of the systems and new equipment for this unit. So it's all going to be out of the way, concealed. This is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath unit. It just got the flooring down. This morning it finished. By the end of the week, this entire side of the building, all of the apartments will have the new flooring. After that, cabinets get set, vanities go in the bathroom, fixtures go in, lighting goes up, and we're done, man. These are ready to be rented in another 6 or 7 weeks. Flooring's going down in this unit right now. Again, in another day or two, all of the floors on this side of the building will all be installed. This is good stuff. He's putting down what we're calling LVT, luxury vinyl tile. This stuff is a great option in today's market. It's way less expensive than hardwood. It's way more durable than hardwood. And managing it and using it and maintaining and repairing it, way better than hardwood. With hardwood, if someone scratches up all the floors, now I gotta fight with them and move out about damage and security deposit. I hate doing that stuff. And then I gotta call someone in to sand and refinish the floor. It's like $1,300. It's way too much money every time someone moves in and moves out. With luxury vinyl tile or LVT, all I have to do is pop up a damaged tile and put down a replacement tile. I don't have to touch the rest of the flooring. And this stuff is bulletproof. You could take a knife or a car key and scratch it, or try to scratch it, and it won't mark or scuff at all. So we also put down a sound barrier to give a better experience underfoot, but also to dampen and lessen the sound and the clicking of the shoe or furniture hitting the floor and movement. So we pad underneath the LVT with 1/4-inch sound barrier, and then we lay it down with glue. Encourage all you guys to check out LVT flooring for your rental apartments. It's durable, and it's half the price or a third the price as hardwood floors. George, check it out. We got lucky. Cabinets are going in today. We are flying through these units now that they're already rocked and painted. These guys are moving fast. These are the new cabinets going in. This apartment's really turning out nice. I'm glad that we're seeing this today. George, this is a happy moment. When we get to the point where we can put kitchen cabinetry in, we know we're getting close. So our leasing department's already fielding calls for availability of these units. I think this is gonna go really, really well. I think they're gonna rent quickly. I think people who are looking for housing in this price point and not finding it, I think they're gonna be really happy here, because there's nothing else like it in the marketplace at this price point. And I'm psyched to get these leased. And when I see kitchen cabinets in boxes and getting installed in the walls, I know that we're almost there, because I can install kitchen cabinets in a day. My countertop guy comes, he'll measure and do a template in 2 days. That'll happen tomorrow. Flooring's already in, that's done. Next is light fixtures, bathroom fixtures, and we're pretty much done. Maybe some molding and trim, and some door hardware. I see the new doors don't yet have the locks in, but this is all stuff that can move really, really fast in a matter of a few days. So I think in another week or two at most, the 2 apartments that we were just in just now, with the cabinets going in, and here you see the cabinets ready to go in right here. Another week to 2 weeks at most, these 2 apartments are gonna be done. Then they're gonna go down to the 2nd floor below us and do those 4 apartments. Then they're gonna go down to the 1st floor below us there and do those 4 apartments. And as a bonus, we converted a previously unused space in the basement as a now livable and approved and legal 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment with great light and air, with great access, really tall ceilings. It's a great space, and it's gonna be a great product for someone that's looking for something that's almost like new construction, located in the downtown here, with access and proximity to all of the features that this location has, but maybe they don't want to pay the same price as like an upper floor unit with a view or with a balcony. So it's going to be a great option for them. The apartment's great. It's almost like you don't even know it's a lower level or partially below grade unit. You can call it a basement apartment. I don't like the sound of that because no one likes to live in a basement, but it is partially below grade. You're not going to pay the same price, but you're going to have a great product and a great apartment for it. It's really big. It's got a lot of closet space. Again, laundry in unit, central HVAC. It's a good thing. We were able to convert the space in a basement that was just like a storage room for decades. For decades, it was nothing. It wasn't even being used. We went to zoning and planning. We got approvals. We converted the basement into a livable space. And it's a great way to add value to your project if you've got a vast amount of basement space that's unused, and maybe there's egress there. You can create the right egress so that you can comply with fire and safety codes, which we did here, and we can go down and I can show you that. But this building was a 19-unit building. It's now a 20-unit building. And that extra unit's a big deal. So it's worth spending the money or looking in to see if you want to spend the money to convert unused space into a now livable space. So George, as you look around, you'll see these, we call them whips. They're hanging out of the ceilings. So every one of these whips marks where a light fixture or a life safety piece of equipment is going to go. This whip here is for the stove hood. It's an electric stove hood. These whips over your head here are going to be for light fixtures and probably smoke alarms or fire alarms. I see that the fire alarm's already been installed. There's the strobe. And the The carbon and smokes aren't yet in, but they're going to be in any minute. And that's what these things are. We call them whips. Cabinets are in. They're not done, but here they are. They're going in. This is good stuff, man. These guys are rocking and rolling. And just as a little tip, I don't know if you can see that little white line where the paint didn't go all the way up to the soffit. That's a little painting trick. You don't need to go all the way up to the soffit because you know that the cabinets are going in and covering, visually covering that little stripe of white up there. So it's a much faster paint job. The guys can go on with rollers and pound through the wall really, really fast, and they don't have to get in with a brush and do detail close to where the corner is up by that soffit. They don't have to cut a line by the soffit. In painting, we call it cutting lines. They're not cutting any lines there. They're just going up with a roller until the roller hits the soffit. Then they're pulling away and they're leaving that white stripe. Cabinets go up, boom. They're in and out. The painters move really, really quickly when they don't have to cut lines. George, setting doors is so basic and simple. Not a whole lot of people do it right. Our guys are experts at it. So all of these shims right here are used for the setting of a new door frame. And they're used to make the sides parallel, the top and bottom level and straight, and everything at 90-degree angles at the corner. So they're setting the door using these shims. This door is going to be perfect. When this door swings open and close and it goes to the closed position, it's going to be a perfect fit. There's not going to be any rubbing. There's not going to be any friction. It's not going to be off center to where the door frame is so that you can't close it. You know, in a lot of older buildings with heat and expansion and the cooling and contraction that occurs as the weather and season changes, these door frames move too, right? Wood's a breathable material. So a lot of times you find in older buildings, the doors don't close, or they're tight to close, or they rub and then the paint rubs and then it looks like shit. Not in our buildings. Our guys know how to set a door really, really well. When you see this stuff, I know that they're doing a good job. Let's throw back to where we were in these units. There's the plaster and lathe through the wall right there. If you look up, you can see the new beaming that we installed. So this big massive thing that you're getting right now is so that the joists can go right into it. We corrected a lot of settling and age that happened. I mean, this building's like 100 years old. So you can imagine everything was warped, nothing was level, walls weren't straight anymore. We made them straight. This framing makes it straight. The new beams in the ceiling with everything attaching to it makes it straight. You want ceilings parallel to your floor. You want walls at a 90-degree angles from your ceilings. It's tough when you're working on older buildings, doing a renovation of an existing structure. Right? With new construction ground up, you have way more control. After you pour a foundation coming out of the ground, you can make your walls and ceilings at 90-degree angles and everything's going to be totally straight, no problem. But on an older building where it's settled, where it's masonry, where it's steel and wood and brick and everything's all over the place, and there's been leaks for 50 years and there's been settling in the ground and everything's crooked now, you got to fix all that stuff. It's not cheap, it's not easy, but the end result is a cool product because, again, you're in an older building that you can't replicate or build today at a price that makes sense. This is a masonry and steel building. And then you've got these brand new renovated apartments inside of this old structure. It's a really cool product. But that beam is a motherfucker to get up the stairs, through the windows. I mean, can you imagine this thing? It weighs 800,000 pounds or whatever it weighs. They got to get it up here. They got to set it. They got to prop up everything to make sure that it's safe to install. It's a big job. You can see here the old window wells that are now framed over. So when we sheetrock and insulate here, we're going to cover all this up and the window well is going to be like this. You can see the old width of and depth of the window well, and here's the old lathe right here. This is sharp, nasty shit. Don't cut yourself. And I wish we could leave the exposed brick visible, but you know, you get to a point where it's just not possible. But this is 8 inches thick right here. This is a thick wall. We're sheetrocking over it. And you can see the corner features here. You can see some of the brick up there. On the inside, it's just not looking that good. But we got it all straight and all perfect on the outside for sure. This section of flooring that I'm standing on, if you pan down, you'll see 3 sheets of plywood. So these sheets of plywood were laid here because we had to cut out the existing hardwood floor and lay down the sheets of plywood to make the floor flat. Where I'm standing was so warped and so bowed from, we're on the 3rd floor, so there was roof leaks for 60 or 70 years happening. No one ever fixed anything the right way. So floors kept getting moisture damage and exposure to water, which makes it warp. It was so extreme and occurred over such a long period of time, it warped so badly that there was no way to fix it except for to cut out the old material and lay new plywood to flatten things out. Now that the plywood's down, this is all now going to be subfloor. On top of it's going to go sound barrier, then the LVT. So this old hardwood flooring that you're standing on right now is all going to be covered up. You saw what the flooring is going to look like in those other apartments. You know, sometimes you can keep old elements of an older building and repurpose them and reuse them in the new design. Sometimes you can't. Here we couldn't really reuse that much. We had to frame out and frame over everything. We had to straighten out these floors that were just a roller coaster. And we're putting in new floors, new materials. It's going to be a nice modern apartment. No old stuff here except the outside. George, the stairwell going from the 1st floor to the 3rd floor in this building, when we took over, the stairwell was narrow. It was impossible. It was warped and sloped. It was completely unsafe. And it was probably going to last another week or two before it completely collapsed. So we ripped out the entire stairwell, widened the walls a little bit, and we put in all new stairs. The railings are coming next week, so be careful. You'll see these stairs don't have railings. The railings come in next week, but what you're standing on is a staircase that's about another 8 inches wider than what we had before. And now people can get in, get out. This is not an elevator building. Again, this is a classic walk-up that's being completely remodeled. So people can move in furniture and move in their belongings and have a little bit more space to do it. We'll probably have to protect the walls a little bit so they don't get banged up, but we'll do that. But this is all new stairs, all new landings. This is good stuff right here. So why do I want to go through the headache and the brain damage of buying this old building that was falling apart, renovating it, doing all of this work during a pandemic? Material prices are going up, labor is hard to come by, you can't always get to work. Here's the economics you're thinking about. I bought this building for $140,000 per unit. I've put $50,000 per unit into it, so I'm into it for $190 per unit. When we're all done with the work, this property is going to appraise for close to $500,000 per unit. Bought it for $140, put $50 into it for $190 total. We're going from $190 to almost $500,000 per unit. You do the math. It's worth a little bit of headache to get a little bit of reward. Here, we're going to be able to do that.